Okay, so this is the 95 Toyota Camry. It's kind of dark under there, and we got a pretty good light right there. So what we're gonna do is pull this hood off. I always recommend pulling the hood off when you're doing stuff like this, just because you don't have to worry about bumping your head. It's easier to access. You know, it's just a lot easier. But to pull the hood off on this particular 95 Toyota Camry, well, on 95 Toyota Camrys, unless somebody changed the bolts. There's two bolts here. Not sure if you guys can see those, but they're both 12 millimeter bolts. 12 millimeter bolts on both sides, and there's little clips up here for these shocks. These shocks actually make it quite a bit easier to work on this car, to actually remove the hood. You don't need any help to remove this hood. Like usually you need, what, 2 or 3 people to, yeah, actually I think you need 3 people to friggin' do a hood. This car you can do it by yourself, just because those shocks kind of help you out. I'm gonna try to show you guys that. I'm not sure if I can, but I will unbolt this and grab the camera and show you what the plan is. Alright YouTube, this is what I've done so far. Pretty much in short, I took apart that end completely. I loosened up the bolt, one bolt on that side, but I left that side engaged. So that's pretty much like another dude's hand holding that there. Those 2 clips up top on the shocks, I'm not sure if you guys can really see that. It's kind of bright outside. See if I can get it to where it'll adjust. No, it's not adjusting. Anyway, those are already out. What I need to do now is just pretty much walk over there. Can't hold that, do the camera, and walk over there at the same time. Can't do it all at the same time, but walk over there, take out that last bolt with the 12 millimeter in the socket, and remove that shock, the lift support. Once that lift support's out, this thing is gonna come right off, no problem. I'm gonna throw it in the backyard somewhere flat to where it ain't gonna get jacked up and snakes can't hide under it, but that's pretty much it. And voila, the hood is off. How much more light that is. Not a lot easier to work. Fluorescent lights are awesome. So that's the whole point of taking the hood off. This thing's back. Did a starter on that? It's no fun. Run away if you see one of those coming your way. Now, this car is a bit too warm right now. I was gonna start taking apart, you know, all the little accessories. I can still do that stuff, but I was really looking at that business. I've heard people talk about this, but I've never actually seen it myself. This is a 30 millimeter, ooh, it is warm. This is a 30 millimeter nut, and I had to go to AutoZone and purchase one because there's no other way to get the valve cover off without a 30 millimeter socket. Pretty damn big, right? Let's see. Yep, fits right on, screws right off. So that's how you get the valve cover off, just in case you were wondering. You need a 30 millimeter socket. It's big, okay? It's really big. Why Toyota put that on their friggin' vehicles, I don't know. But that's what it is. To get these out, you just pull them. They are kind of hard to get out. Be careful using pliers and do not pull from this, because the little ignition wire here is really weak. You want to pull from these little points right here. They even have little grips on the side. I'm sure if you guys can see that to kind of help you grip it. But most of the time it doesn't come out anyway. So some good flat pliers or channel locks. Make sure that they're on there pretty good. Gently push together and lift. And it still didn't come off. So push together a little bit harder and then lift. Oh, that felt like it got damaged. Oh crap, it did get damaged. Okay, push it back on there and pretend like you didn't do anything to it. Oh god. Freaking Toyota, why'd you do that? Anyway, that's how you get those off. Don't use pliers like I did. Or should you use pliers like I did? Because if they didn't come off with the pliers, I don't think can't think of any other way to do it, really, with just hands. Anyway, that's how you get that off. Okay, to clear the air on that, this boot came right the hell off of this tube. This is a hard composite plastic rubber type deal here, and Toyota for some reason decided to not make this all one piece. This is 2 separate pieces, okay? I'm not sure if you guys saw any of that. Ooh, that's hot. But this is 2 separate fucking pieces, freaking pieces. and Toyota just decided, hey, let's just throw those two parts together and make it ridiculously difficult to get it apart when it's time to service the vehicle. That's pretty much what they did, okay? Bottom line. But I didn't want to leave that like, oh yeah, that's how you get that apart. When, you know, I didn't really show you guys anything besides how to break something. But, this is really hard to get apart. And this is by no means properly attached to the shaft there. So what you may have to do is lift this off, get it completely off of there, get some channel locks or some needle noses, and pull it out from the tube that's inside of there. Because, the grip that's on there is inadequate. It's the easiest way to say it. I could feel the storm of bitching coming on right now. Alright you guys, I figured out the trick to get these things out pretty simply. When they're in, instead of just pulling them and pulling them, you gotta really, oh, I guess I didn't show that. Instead of just pulling them straight up, what you need to do is grab the top of this and push down and wiggle back and forth real hard and then pull at the same time, okay? So push down, wiggle, and then pull up and wiggle. So you do that, put a little bit of force behind it, they should pop right out. The last two popped right out. Number two I had a real issue with, but everything else came out pretty easy, which kind of leads me to think that I'm the problem. Okay, now we're gonna do the throttle linkage. This is your throttle linkage. This is from your gas pedal heading all the way up to your cruise control servo. If you don't have cruise control, I haven't really dealt with it, but I'm guessing that this line will be shorter. That runs from your pedal and it'll just go directly to your throttle body. But this is the easy way to get it out. So they made this pretty simple. You just turn this, because it's just fish hooked in there really, and make sure that that cable is lined up with the little notch in this wheel, and then you just slide it right on out. Slide the anvil that's in there out, and that's what you're left with. You do the bottom, it's simply pretty much doing the same thing, except you pull the cable itself out and down and over and out, and then you loosen these two nuts right here and here. You gotta loosen this one up quite a bit to get it out of here, but this one, just loosen it, slide it out, slide it out. Alright, I figured I'd give you guys a quick look at my tools. Pretty much everything under here. I have some things apart already, some things that I already filmed, but I thought I'd give you guys a quick scoop of what I'm using here. This is just a metric set, $10, wow. Anyways, it's just a metric set. 8 mil all the way up to 18 mil. It does pretty much everything you need for a car like this. A car like that, pretty much the same thing, since Mitsubishi and Dodge share a lot. Same with my Ford, Mazda and Ford share a lot, so metrics do help out. If you get a more modern Ford, like around 2000, you probably want to stick more so to standard, because Ford kicked Mazda to the curb and started doing their own thing, and that's what happened. So anyway, this is a 13 millimeter wrench. Using this to loosen these up. They're already kind of loose because, you know, they vibrate loose after a while, but these are pretty much your throttle cables. This is how easy they are to take off, so don't be scared of this stuff when you see it. Let's go ahead, take it out, set it out the way. That's probably a 14, so we'll grab one size up. Bet you it's probably a 15 actually, but we'll see. No, 14, I was right. This one's pretty tight. It came loose on me a few times, so you know, I had to make sure it stayed secure. But just get them out, move them out the way. I don't think I'm even gonna have to take out the pedal. This is actually the pedal from the driver's seat. It goes into here. It's pretty much a very similar setup to this right here. The wheel with two anchors in it and the cables attached to them. It's pretty much the same setup in here, except there's a little servo. Can't really see it. I need a light. I almost bought a light today too. I should have. The little servo is just what holds the cable in place, so you don't have to do it with your foot. So I mean, that's pretty much all your cruise control is a cable. Same thing from my car. It's a little bit different, a little bit uses vacuum instead of electric servo, because servos go out. Vacuum actually lasts quite a bit longer, but I mean, it depends on how good your servo is. It's a Toyota, so maybe it's good, but who knows. Anyway, that's pretty much how you disconnect your throttle. I'm not sure I'm going to disconnect this. We'll find out later. Okay, with this side mostly done, we're now going to start focusing our attention to the accessories. We're gonna worry about the radiator, the thermostat, the exhaust. We're gonna worry about all that after we get most of the wires and cords and cables kind of out the way. It makes life a lot easier when you do things that way. So this is not a 14. Seriously doubt it's a 13. This is for your alternator. Nope, it's 12. And it's a 12mm bolt that you just loosen up, but there's one on the back that you have to loosen up first right here. This pretty much holds your tensioner in place. I'm sorry, I'm trying to film this and look at what the hell I'm doing at the same time. So you want to loosen this one up first. You can start this way, but you might actually damage the bracket if you're dumb and you push really hard on it. So break that puppy loose. Ooh, that's not even a 12, that's like a 10 or 11. Where's my 10? I don't know what I do with my 10. Where's my 10? I found my 10. Anyway, so probably it's not even a fucking 10. Okay, it's probably an 11. Here's an 11. Let's see. Wow, it's not an 11. It's not an 11. It's not a 10. And 12 was slipping. What the hell is this? It's a very dirty, sloppy 12. Get all that slop. I don't usually torque things or put too much power on these things because they strip, but we're gonna have to this time. So I mean, it can't be in there that tight because I did put it on last. I don't like over tightening crap. I like to get it snug up to where it could do the job. So it is a 12. I was right in the first place. 12mm bolt. You loosen that one up until it's a little bit of jiggle in the bolt. It should be happening any second now. I don't think that's good enough actually. Start pulling on that. There should be a little bit of jiggle in that. And then you start turning this to the left for loosen. There it goes, see? Now it's starting to jiggle. You guys can't really see that, but it's pretty much loose now. So these two loose together, you can spin this by hand, get enough slack up top. This is how I make life easier for myself, FYI. And you pull the belt and the alternator will start going down by itself. Now you have all this slack in your belt. Do it again, loosen it up just a little bit more. And it doesn't matter how much you loosen it up because more than likely I'm going to end up pulling the whole bracket off anyway. So that's pretty much good enough. If I didn't have a camera in my hands, I could probably get this thing out right now. Okay, so that belt's off. So what we're gonna do is start pulling this crap off of this accessory area. The belt's still buried down there. You can't really see it. My light's kind of poor here, but it's real easy. Just push that in right there on top and slide it out. But I heard a dog back here. Make sure I didn't. It's neighbors' dogs. If I got quiet and sounded scared, it's because I was quiet and I was scared. So this is easy. Just push. It says push right there. Push it down, slide it out. This one, I kind of forgot how I got this one off. Pretty sure this top part just pops off like so. Sure. And you have a 10mm. It's either a 10 or 8. It looks like a 10. Let's see. 10mm nut that holds that on there. Yay, I was right. And it's on there kind of tight because you don't want that coming off. You want good connections on your alternator, otherwise you'll constantly drain the battery, and whoever lets you work on their car won't let you work on their car again, bottom line. So put your bolts right back where you got them. It's the easiest way to keep track of them, unless they're bolts like head bolts, something that you just can't put back. Put them right back where you got them. I mean, you can't lose it if it's where it belongs already, you know? So that's how I do it. Okay, YouTube, next we are going to start taking off some of these tubes. I already have a good portion of these undone from working on it earlier, but I've realized that these fat gripped pliers like this, they work really good on this Toyota. I used needle noses on everything else. When I got to this car, it wasn't very fond of needle noses, but the fat tip pliers work great. So Next, we have to get that thing off. I don't have a flathead on me. I have a Phillips. Let's see if it's gonna work. No, that ain't working at all. These are pretty simple to take apart if you have a flathead screwdriver. In essence, actually, you know what? This might be easy to take apart with the Phillips. No, it's not. Oh, there we go. So you can just poke it in there. You know, it's a little clamp there and a clamp opposing it. You can poke it between the two clamps and just pop it up. But that's how you get that off. Get it up and disconnect your AC first. It's just a little switch with a lever on it. Or, yeah, typical lever on it. It's kind of hard to get to right now because this hose is in the way. But I mean, it's very simple. You just have to disconnect. And you can't even see it on camera. Good God, I need a better camera. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna work on that. I'll work on that very soon here. I've been trying to barter work for a camera. But there's just a little switch right here. Push down on that switch, pull up, comes right out. And then, voila. Now usually, with this end, these two threaded bolts hold that in there. I already took these out though, so you guys didn't get to see that here. But they just hook on there. They don't even really bolt in there. That could get you guys a good shot what that looks like. It just hooks in there. Like, that's open, so usually you have to like kind of pop that one upward and this one back, and it will pop out. If you can't get those unthreaded at the time, that's the easiest way to do it. But I already had that done, so yeah. made life easier for me. Disconnect this ground right here. These grounds, I love these grounds. This is probably Toyota's best idea ever right here. They're pretty simple to take apart. Completely brain farted and forgot how to right now, but oh yeah, you lift up on that little tab right there in the HD camera and pull back and boom, disconnected just like that. This is very nifty. It makes it to where you can disconnect your grounds and you don't have to go unbolting anything. There's a few grounds on here. There's another one down there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. There's another one down there. There's a few grounds like that on every side of the vehicle. I mean, don't disconnect anything that doesn't have anything to do with the head or the oil pump or oil pan gasket. Your torque plate doesn't have anything to do with that, so go leave it on there. Basically, the easiest way to go about this is if you don't have to disconnect it, you don't have to remove it, don't disconnect it, don't remove it. So, I mean, that's common sense. It makes life a lot easier too because there's less things to remember, less bolts to bag and tag. It's a way easier way of going about a repair. But while we're at it, we already have all these disconnected, so pull them out. They're very easy to remember where they go. They're all slightly different sizes. They're not very difficult to deal with. So go ahead and pull those off while you're at it. There's more connectors down here that I'm going to disconnect. Generally speaking, I know you guys are probably thinking, wow, he's just going around unplugging things, and it's I mean, I've already taken out this engine and transmission, so I kind of am familiar with this vehicle, but at the same time, you can't really plug the wrong thing in the wrong area with this car. You're not going to find two plugs that are identical to each other right next to each other, and that's something that's been happening for a very long time. So you know, thanks to the engineers for that. I mean, they do screw us over quite often, but you know, when they throw that bone your way, man, is it appreciated. You know, you don't have to remember your connectors pretty much at all. You know, they have specific locations. They're color matched. Some of them only have one prong. Some of them have 3 prongs. You can look at your connector on your wiring harness and where it is, you know, what's around that area to where it looks like, you know, so it might plug into something, and there will be your plug, you know, like there will be your socket. So it's not difficult. So I mean, just take your time and chill out. You know, just take your time. It is not, you don't have to overthink this at all. It's pretty simple. Okay, so here's something I said I was gonna wait on that I'm not gonna wait on, and that's this exhaust heat shield. Generally speaking, I wait until all this crap is out the way, but I really, even with the engine off, I really have never seen the exhaust on here. So I really don't know how I'm going to disconnect it, because last time I had to disconnect it from down here, which was a pain. I broke a ratchet. I went through all kinds of hell to get that disconnected. All kinds of hell. So anyway, we're gonna start trying to take these off one by one. Yeah, that's not gonna be a easy feat. It sounds easier than what it is. Oh wow, well that one was easier. Here's another one. It looks like there's only 4 there, and there is only 4 there. I'm pretty sure there's probably one more buried somewhere. That one's cracked. I'm not sure how that one's gonna come out, so we'll find out together. We will find out together. 3, and I'm doing this all with one hand, and I'm right-handed, and I'm doing it with my left hand. So if I could do it with one hand and the camera, you guys could do it. Trust me. Okay, these are smaller. I've taken this off before. You gotta be careful with some of these bolts, and I know I like to hear myself talk, but these bolts in particular, I've had these out already. This one was so rotted, it just snapped right off. As soon as I put a little bit of torque on it, it came right off. But if that happens to you, don't worry about it. Just move to the next one. These things, they happen, so you know, don't worry about it too much. And well, the camera's off, I'm gonna get that bad boy out. Show you guys how that went. Okay, so that went off without a hitch. There's the heat shield right here. All those bolts came out without a problem, even the cracked one. I mean, it didn't come out of my socket too well, but. And again, I am just putting the bolts right back where they belong, so I don't lose them. It makes life 10 times easier doing things this way. And the more you get in the habit of doing this, the less time and effort you'll spend trying to figure out what goes where and how it came out and how it goes back together, because oh shit, unless that happens, unless you drop a bolt into the black abyss. But aside from that, this makes life a lot easier. Trust me, I wouldn't lie to you.